Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Uncut Gems with Slim. We are continuing our Bossed Up Gems series. This is our first entrepreneurial series, and I'm super excited that you guys have tuned in for another episode. If you are new here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on the gems. We drop gems every week, so make sure you tune in on podcasts and on YouTube at Uncut Gems with Slim. And y'all, I'm super duper uber excited to have my queen in the building. The person who picture next beside Afro in the dictionary, honey. We got Alexus Crown. Hey, boo. Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good. What is up to all the gems, guys? I'm so happy to be here. Honestly, Jazz literally is one of the funniest, biggest personalities I know. When we met, I constantly tell her this all the time. So I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, it's about to be a lit interview. So
it is. Yes. So I'm so excited again to have you here. And just to give the people a little bit of background on how I know Miss Alexus Crown. I met Alexus Crown on a brand trip, y'all. And I was like, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, I think that's Alexus Crown. I was like, yo, like, I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, I'm in the car, like.
We were in the car.
Girl. I was like, yo, like, I swear this. And then we, like, exchanged Instagrams, and I was like, I'm definitely already following. But it was just such genuine vibes, and the whole trip, it was fun. So definitely, when, you know, COVID, wrap it up. Girl, I'm gonna have to come out to Texas or something. We gonna have to link, but yes.
Right. You know we lit in Texas. We gonna come out here. We gonna show you a good time, and that's
what I hear. That's what I hear. And it's hot out there, though.
It is. It is for 95% of the year. But, you know, that 5%, it's a little cute or whatever. So.
Yes. So we definitely going to have to make some shake. But I just want to go ahead and jump into this week's episode. And every week we share a gem for our audience just to kind of get them through the week or a little bit of encouragement. And during this series, we are just giving out gems that can not only apply to like your everyday life, but specifically applying to entrepreneurs or anyone who is like influencers, content creators, YouTubers, all that good jazz. And so this week is about the cliche phrase what everybody answers when people ask you like what's the key to being successful on YouTube. And this week's gem is about how consistency is key. And so consistency is like so important no matter how you flip it, and that can be like being consistent with posting content, being consistent with creating quality content, or even just being like consistent with maintaining a balance that works for you. And girl, I've been struggling with that, but I feel like consistency is like I said, one of the most cliche answers that we all give people when people ask like how to be successful on YouTube. But I think consistency is like, it legit is essential no matter like what entrepreneurship, you know, you going through. And I just feel like a lack of consistency equates to a lack of discipline or a lack of desire to pursue like that thing. And right. I definitely been in a place where I've lacked discipline sometimes, and girl, I still do on the low when it comes to being like productive consistently and creating content. So can you just share with the people if that relates to you anyway, or like any consistency battles or how you remain consistent?
Yeah, so for me, when I started seeing just the really drastic change as far as like my brand and my following, it really was rooted and based in consistency. And a lot of times we're stuck in this microwave culture to where we want a quick fix with everything. And consistency is really the key to everything. So if you think about working out, if you think about physical change, if you think about mental change, if you think about financial change or anything, it's literally consistency over time. So the same thing with social media. And I think social media kind of has this almost like bubblegum cloud connotation to it, like this fluff connotation to it, but it's really a real job. So it requires real consistency, real discipline, and it will equate to real results. So when I started planning my content out, when I started shooting it, when I started having content like in the queue to where I can consistently post, and I'm playing out, okay, I can post every 2 days or I can post every 3 days, that's when I start seeing results, because I know that my followers and my people know that I'm going to show up for them every so often versus I'm showing up for them every 30 days. It's like, okay, girl, I'm not going to invest my follow in you if you're not investing your content into me. And it may sound like, okay, it's not that deep, but it's really like what that is when it comes to social media, because this is a lot of people's full-time job. So consistency really is the foundation in growing your core audience. It's finding your niche and building off of that. So
yes, and I feel like when you are consistent and you do show up and you're disciplined with showing up, that builds like you're now like a reliable source for your audience, because they know, like, if I come to Alexus Crown page, like, I'm gonna get my Black Girl Magic vibes every 2 days or every 3 days, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't like leave them hanging. And that's kind of how you continue to grow your audience, because they know, like, hey, if I'm on YouTube, I know so-and-so gonna post on this day, or so-and-so posts weekly,
right.
so they know when to like look out for your content. And so with you being, you know, a boss, bomb, creator, I mean, like, the content girl, every time you post, I just be like, I didn't know that I could get this much life. I mean, you just be slaying my heart.
I love it.
You be slaying my heart. It's so like, I know you are really good with being consistent and posting like your consistent content. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are 3 different ways that you feel are most important when it comes to sustaining a certain level of consistency? And it don't got to be like, yeah, girl, I'm consistent 100% of the time, but it could just be like, how do you maintain like just a certain like a baseline level of consistency? Because you know, you sometimes you be in it where you be locked in, and girl, you be post, but it's sometimes when it be like, okay, like, let me level out, let me stop going off fast, and, you know, spread it out where it's feasible. So I would like to know, give us some tips.
So the top 3 tips I would say are, what I've learned with me is I'm a very much so, well, I'm not a DIY girl. So I've learned that I need to build a team, as far as I need someone who, like a creative director, a stylist, someone almost like a PA, like my younger sister. She like runs the role as a personal assistant role. Like, I need people who play roles for me, because at the end of the day, like, building content, people think it's just getting cute for a camera. You take a picture, pose, and you post on Instagram. It's really not that simple. You have to think of the concepts. You have to prepare for the concepts, whether that's hair, makeup, you know, lighting, the background. You have to execute the concepts, and then you have to wait for the analysis as far as how your audience responds to it. So the first tip I would say is having people that you rely on. So knowing your role. So whether that's you play all the roles, or you have people that can take the pictures for you. Like, some people play all the roles. I did that for a couple of years, but now that I'm trying to elevate, I know that I need to expand and, you know, delegate those roles out. The second tip I would say is planning. So the best thing I can say is, whatever creative idea that you have, whatever concept that you think will be cool, or that you think will be cute, write it down. If it comes to your mind, write it down, write out the details as far as like the hair, the makeup, the color scheme, the background, like everything, write that out. Because even if you can't get it down to the detail, you have a concept as to what you're going for and what you know that your audience would appreciate. And the third tip would be just executing, honestly. A lot of times people dwell and get held up in just the idea of perfection. And it's
That's
like,
good.
okay, you don't want to just put out anything, but you definitely want to put out something. Like, you definitely want to execute. You don't want fear of, I don't know what people gonna think of me. Because when I first launched my YouTube, when I first started trying to do influencer deals and things like that, it's like I was thinking of, okay, my friends are, what are they gonna say? And that very much was the case. I had family members coming to me, are you trying to be a model now? What are you trying to do? It's like, okay, now I'm
Right, like they see the checks now,
now
they want to be like, oh, that's
it's real cute. The check is
right.
real cute. So I would say the third tip would be execute, despite what you think people who are around you would say, because unfortunately it's someone who's across the world who will see your content, believe in you, support you, root for you, and then that audience will grow. And people who are in your hometown will see that, and then they'll start rooting for you. And that's really just how it's been since the beginning of time. So know your role, plan your content, and then also just execute it regardless. Like, whatever fear you might have, execute it despite that. So yeah.
That's so good. And that's something I've been like encouraging people with just this series in general, is to let people know, like, you just got to go out there and do it. Like, whatever is holding you back, like, quit doubting yourself and just go out and
Right.
execute. And that's so good, because people, they'll have vision boards for days and all these ideas, and it just wind up being another journal that's just sitting collecting dust, because they ain't, executing and putting that action behind it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much for dropping them gems, girl. I'm gonna have to go and write down and do me some planning, because you just got me feeling like, okay, this Q4, let's get it.
Q4, we're killing it, period. And that's just that
Period.
on that. Q4 is going crazy.
Yes.
So
All the way crazy. And so one last thing I want to ask you, I've been asking every guest on the show so far for this series, is what is one piece of advice that you could give yourself at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey? So I know it's probably hard to like narrow it down to one, but just like what's something you would tell, Alexus Crown before Alexus Crown?
the one thing that I would tell Alexus Crown before Alexus Crown, woo, that's deep and that's crazy. But the one thing I would say is the breakthrough is coming. The breakthrough is coming. The consistency is paying off. The work is paying off. The breakthrough is coming. Because a lot of times what people fail to realize is, when you're down and out, because I've been there. When you're down and out, like, you don't know when the high road is coming. You don't know when the breakthrough is coming. You're just hoping that it's coming. So if you can have someone to come to you and say that it is coming, then that's going to give you the drive to keep going. But that's really what makes successful people, because like I said, you don't know whether it's going to come or not, but you keep pushing forward. You keep betting on yourself. You keep betting on the thing that people are telling you that's not gonna plan out. You keep doing the thing that people are telling you, like, it didn't work out for them, so it's not gonna work out for you. So I would tell Alexus Crown before Alexus Crown, keep betting on yourself, because the breakthrough is coming. And it did come. It came years later, but it came. So I think that's the hardest thing, to just see the hope, see the light, see the breakthrough at the end of the tunnel when you don't see the breakthrough and you're in the midst of the trials, you're in the midst of the debt, you're in the midst of your current job situation, you're in the midst of all of that. But it's like, you have to think of it like, what I started thinking and saying to myself is, it's not like it's impossible. Like, it's happening for people. So why not me? Like, that's literally what I started telling myself. Why not me? Because it's definitely happening to people. So I think that's imperative, to keep in the back of not even the back of your mind, the forefront of your mind. Why not me? Because it's definitely happening. So it can happen for you. And I'm literally walking in, God has brought to fruition for me things that I prayed about, things that I've journaled about for years back. And it's like, okay, it's crazy because it's happening now. But in the midst of when I was writing those things, they were just hopes, dreams, and wishes. But the breakthrough came. So that would be my tip, is
Girl,
the breakthrough is coming.
pass the offering plate right now, okay? Girl, you got me wanting to do a shout. Ooh, girl, take me to church. Girl, okay, y'all send y'all offering to hashtag.
Y'all don't understand how funny Jazz is. Y'all just don't. Y'all getting a piece of it, but this girl is hilarious. Like, y'all just,
bruh, girl, you took me to church. That was so good, man. I'm so glad that you had the time to come on the show today. I can't say enough. I appreciate you so much, man. I just want to remind the people who are listening that this is available on all podcast streaming platforms and on YouTube at Uncut Gems with Slim. Y'all make sure y'all check out this Bossed Up series. We dropping gems for all of our entrepreneurs, and we got some dope guests, coming on the show. So I'm, again, super excited that you are on here. Can you tell the people where they can find you at, and if you have anything coming up? I know you got birthday coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you guys can find me on all platforms at Alexus Crown. That's ALEXUSCROWN, Alexus Crown. My birthday is in November, so we really just building up the content to just start going crazy in November. And also holiday season is coming up, so be prepared for that because I have some huge projects dropping holiday season. But yeah, again, you guys can find me at Alexus Crown.
Woo, woo. I'm so excited for you. Oh, girl, you got me excited. But yes, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you to Alexus Crown for being on the show today. Make sure y'all tune in next week, subscribe so y'all don't miss all this good information, and so you don't miss out on a blessing for your life, okay? And if y'all enjoyed this episode, make sure go ahead and go to Alexus Crown page and say, girl, you dropped some gems, okay? And if y'all feeling froggy, y'all can leave me a rating and a review. And until next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and feel free to connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Slim Reshae. That's SLIMRESHAE. Links will be listed in the show notes. And until next time, love yourself and be beautiful. When you're bad, when you need to find your purpose, come this